Happy October 23rd, everyone. Welcome to Midwest Horror Network's October 2020 special, where we discuss all of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episodes. Today we are talking about Treehouse of Horror 23, which was, I thought, actually a really solid trio of stories.
I'm gonna go with a solid on that one. I think it had one fantastic one, and the rest of them were very forgettable.
I don't even know if I'd call it fantastic. It just had one moment that broke me and one moment that broke you.
Yeah. You know what? I have yet to be. I've laughed really hard. I've snickered. I've rolled my eyes. I've done a lot of other things. I've never been broken. Like, on one of those things. So that actually says a lot about that particular joke in that particular episode.
It makes
Yeah,
no
but we're not
sense
going to get to that one for a while.
So, but yeah, I think it was okay.
It was solid. Definitely better than the last one, for
Oh
sure.
yeah, 110%. Yeah.
Well, it's not hard to be better than the last one.
Yeah, the last one was
Shit.
not very good. Not
We're
very
not
Literally.
talking about that.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into the intro. So this was obviously made in 2012.
You don't see.
Yeah, we have the ancient Mayan civilization, and they're discussing about when the world is going to end. However, they can save the world as long as they sacrifice somebody to the gods. And so they're feeding a Mayan version of Homer just a lot of food, fattening him up. There's a Mayan version of Marge who does not want him to be sacrificed because obviously he's her husband. So she tricks a Mayan version of Mo to basically put like a burlap sack over his head so he can't see. And then because his face is covered, she kind of guides him towards the sacrificial area, and they chop his head off, and they discover, oh, it's Mo, not Homer. We sacrificed the wrong person. And so their Mayan version of Professor Frink does some calculations and basically determines that the world will end in 2012. And according to Mayan Quimby's statement...
It will all be Obama's fault.
Because they knew Obama would be in office at the time.
Apparently. Well, Professor Frink's calculations also is like assuming for the birth of Jesus and accounting for leap year. So like all this stuff that, they couldn't have figured out back then.
That we made up along the way.
Yeah, and then we have the kids playing soccer with Mo's head, and Mo's is like, wow, even soccer's boring for the ball.
It's messed up.
Yeah,
But
that's pretty
it's
accurate.
true.
Yeah,
Never been a fun sport.
It's not a fun sport. It is so boring. Like, I love playing like the video games for soccer, but
Really?
I cannot watch.
You're a FIFA fan?
Yeah,
Oh.
I enjoyed it.
Dude, it's weird. I'll never understand it, but FIFA, those
great.
games sell.
Yeah,
Like
There,
most
there,
sports
there are
games.
people who buy a console just for FIFA. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, that's weird.
so yeah, Mo's accurate.
Yep.
Yeah. So flash forward to 2012. It's Halloween, and the doorbell rings at the Simpsons place, and Homer enters the door, and there are these three giant, like, Mayan statues, and they just stomp on him, crushing him, and all of his, like, intestines are spilled out.
That was kind of a cool shot there.
Yeah, they could have easily just had him just flattened or something, but
Yeah.
I appreciated the extra detail of just putting in his smashed up entrails. And so they start wreaking havoc on the town, and then they start wreaking havoc on all of these famous landmarks across the world. Like, they rip out the Great Wall of China, they rip out one of the heads of Mount Rushmore and have them kiss each other. And
Good
then
to know the maturity levels are on the level of me and Mark.
Yep.
Yeah, that checks
Yeah.
out.
And then we also got a very brief King Kodos moment for the episode during this intro when one of them threw the giant lard lad donut into space, and you have King Kodos in Halloween costumes, and their ship just barely dodges the donut, and one of them says, "What the hell?"
What the hell was that?
Very brief, but
It wasn't the worst shoehorn, but it's still a shoehorn.
it is.
Yeah.
But it fit.
It's definitely better than a lot of their other shoehorns, but it was still one of those where it's just like, Come on.
But it was there. It was quick. It wasn't one of those shoehorns that just kind of lingers on it.
Or it wasn't forced either. Like,
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah,
Sure.
it was in and out. It had a funny,
Yeah.
a quick fun joke, and then,
Yeah.
and then it
Just
was
like,
over.
all right, let's get these guys out of here.
The
They have a 5 o'clock appointment at somewhere. I don't know where, but fuck it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm glad they did that, other than trying to just cram them into one of the set, because I don't think they really would have fit into any 3 of these segments.
No.
No, I mean maybe the third one, as a quick bit, but
I could see something maybe potentially funny with the third bit, but that's about
Or
it.
the black hole. They could have just gone to like.
Actually, yeah, that's an
That's
even
actually
better
good,
one.
that's
That's,
a good
the
one.
best
Yeah.
one they could have thrown
That's a
them in.
good point. Yeah.
Like show up last minute. Oh, wait, you figured out the pacifier thing. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So then they destroy a whole bunch of landmarks. Earth is left in ruins, and then they fly out into space. The Earth explodes, leaving the title Treehouse of Horror 23.
And the Mayans, high five.
Yep. Fun intro. Definitely a reminder of 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think we talked about this briefly on Treehouse of Horror 10. We were comparing Y2K to 2012.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. And it's like I always knew a lot more people who took 2012 seriously than Y2K.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I think internet culture was starting to get it was far more popular at that point. So
way more popular.
yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It was the thing. It was a thing that happened in history that I think a lot of people would care to forget, because they feel really stupid.
I mean, for the most part, most people were just like, yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah.
Of course, there were those pockets of people who were like, oh my god, the end of the world. But yeah, most people
and
were just
they spoke with that high pitched voice as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Oh my gosh.
I just remember all the memes coming out like Goku fighting the moon from Legend of Zelda.
Ha.
Breaking news! Holy shit!
It's really over.
All right. So let's get into our first story. The greatest story ever hold. Mark, tell us about this fun story.
With that nice little pun at the beginning. This story is it's based on, I'm sure, something that I'm not familiar with, or maybe even an original idea. I'm not quite sure. Apparently, Lisa petitioned that Dr. Frank.
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 F-R-I.
Okay. To make some type of crazy scientific thing.
Hadron Collider, I believe it's called.
Something like that. And instead of making a baseball stadium, which a lot of people were really pissed about, except Homer, because he bought a little wavy flag and he's like, I mean, it could equal out the same
because
thing.
the Springfield's baseball team is called the Isotopes.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that is really that's bad. Anyway,
Yep.
so everybody hates Lisa per usual, and then they, the mayor's like, well, it's either going to tell us amazing scientific discoveries or it's going to be a giant waste of time. And Dr. Frank turned it on. And he's like, this is amazing, that this is not big enough to actually tell us anything about science. In which everyone gets really pissed off and leaves. So, but then through the course of this machine being active, a very small black hole begins to move out and starts to generally wreak havoc. Lisa's one of the first people to discover it and realize it. So, and then Ralph is the first victim, which is always great. Does a fucking cartwheel inside them, inside the black hole, and then Nelson goes in there and does pops a wheelie into the black hole, and then again it begins to wreak havoc. So Lisa says, I gotta get rid of this. So she goes ahead and grabs it by a stick and then brings it down to the basement. And Homer's questioning her from the top of the stairs. I heard a ruckus. What's going on down there? Did you have a wild dog down there? And she's like, no. And he's like, is it 2 wild dogs? No, it's a black hole. That was going to be my third guess. Are you sure it was going to be your third guess? No, it was not his third guess. So they all share that obviously they can't dump anything into this black hole because it will continue to get bigger. But of course, in the Simpsons fashion, they take none of that advice. Marge is the first person to get rid of some shit.
Because remember, Homer had it open a bag of pretzels.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then his hand also got pulled.
They had really, really long disgusting fingers, and made a really uncomfortable black joke. About how are we supposed to call it a black hole? Yes, that is the technical term. Yo, dog, let me have you eat some of these pretzels. No, and then we all went, oh, that's weird. So Lisa puts a kibosh on that, and then through the course of several different weeks, I'm assuming that it was a long transition. Marge throws bacon grease, which she wants to avoid the squirrels.
Because apparently bacon grease attracts squirrels.
As Zach, I'm sure, would
Raccoons, I
really
think.
appreciate that.
Yeah, she said raccoons.
Raccoons, sorry.
Raccoons?
It doesn't really matter.
I
Either
thought it
way.
was squirrels because of Zach.
Yeah, the point is she took the easy way out of disposing of grease,
Indeed.
and I kind of side with her on this one.
Just dump it down the sink like every other lazy person. God damn it!
That ruins the sink. I'm not gonna get.
This is why we have plumbers.
All right, I'm not gonna get into that. Anyway, so several people started throwing things into there to get rid of it. Bart tries to throw his homework into it, which the black hole immediately throws it back.
Math
to
homework
it.
in particular.
Indeed.
And throws it out multiple times.
and then continues to get it kicked back. It would have been there would have been a cool thing to actually have a callback to the first Treehouse of Horror, which says "Please don't litter in our universe." I would have loved to have seen that callback, but we didn't get it. And then he
It just
finally
throws out the pictures of naked Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh yeah.
then throws his teacher in there, and then several different people start throwing things in there, and it keeps getting bigger. And then Lisa finally says, "Has anybody been actually feeding this black hole? Because I'm thinking you didn't take my advice, because it's really big at this
And
point."
they're always like, no. And another thing, has anybody seen the cat?
And the dog's like, that was pretty funny.
Yeah,
The way
great.
she said it all deadpan too, it's just like, oh.
Yeah.
I think that's the most serious Lisa's ever been in her life. Just
Yeah.
like, you sons of bitches.
Well, yeah, she was tired of all their bullshit.
It's like, for once, Lisa wasn't the one that fucked everything up.
Oh no, she was actually the responsible one. And then they walk outside. They get a knock on the door, and it's a whole fucking town looking to dump it up. And Homer's like, "I may have not started a business called dump my stuff in a black hole." And it's literally a billboard of him saying "dump my stuff in a black hole."
He's got a nice suit on and everything.
Indeed. So I guess more and more shit gets dumped into the black hole. It continues to get bigger, and then eventually sucks in the entire town.
Which I liked that. So basically, Lisa had everybody stop because one more thing could make the black hole reach critical mass. And then cuts to Milhouse finally hitting a home run at his Little League game.
Oh, that
And
sucks.
the ball is what goes into the black hole and hasn't reached critical mass.
I'm going to take
You
you out
can't-
for pizza.
Because you can't give Milhouse a win ever.
Oh, no. God, no. So everybody gets sucked into the damn hole, and then in a very stupid conclusion of this, which I rolled my eyes really fucking hard, when Maggie's pacifier goes out of her mouth and then goes into the black hole, it turns out that's what plugs everything up.
And shrinks it.
And shrinks it back to a infant size, I'm assuming.
Yep.
I went,
And
anyway.
Maggie's left there all alone.
Yeah, which that's a
I
very...
I wouldn't say alone, more pissed off. She's like, fucking really?
But no, like she was also alone.
Yeah,
completely.
Maggie can survive. She's resourceful.
Extremely, yeah.
Black
yeah.
hole shrink, or did it just like leave?
No, it shrank.
I thought it shrank. It
thought
may
just
have left.
And the-
I think it was both.
And actually, it did suck on the pacifier for a few beats.
Yeah, it's like with every suck, it just goes...
And
until
that-
it just disappeared.
And then it turns out that the entire town had been transported to a third dimension of some kind, and with aliens who now love their garbage but don't know it's a garbage. There, several different jokes ensue from that. And then it just abruptly ends.
With
them
a Zune joke.
Worshipping the Zune.
It was Zune, and then it just cuts out, and I'm like, what?
I just want to point out, I called that Zune joke, as soon as I saw the device, I'm like, that's a fucking Zune, isn't it?
So for everyone who doesn't remember, a Zune was an MP3 player before an iPod was around.
Yeah, my wife had one.
I was going to say, iPods were still around, it's just...
Was it before the iPod, or were they
was
trying to
iPod
compete with
No,
the
the
iPod?
iPods were around.
Yeah, iPods
Well, they-
were
okay,
around way
okay.
before. Zune
Yep.
was just one of those things that just looked fancy. It was just like, oh, look
And
at
it was
this.
just too late to the party.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Zoom was one of those. Just like, all right, for people who were pissed at Apple because you needed like
Yeah.
the actual program for Apple and you couldn't really transfer music over, and you had to actually have it formatted for your iPod. So with the Zune, you can actually add just MP3s without converting it.
Yeah, because
for your iPods.
Because as we all know, Apple fucking sucks.
Overall, this episode was kind of I think I'm going to put it in the category of relatively forgettable with a very abrupt ending and one joke that just like really made me roll my eyes and go, ugh.
It's not the best, but I had a lot of fun with it. The ending is definitely the weakest part. I do wish they stuck the ending a little better, but I did like Ralph getting sucked into the black hole.
Yeah.
I did like the gag with Bart's homework and him just getting frustrated and just bringing the teacher instead.
Yeah.
I liked Homer's gross long fingers, especially when he's saying, "Oh, I'm not the one who told people they can dump their stuff in the black hole," and he just crosses his fingers behind his back, but they just kind of twist around each other.
Yeah, that was weird.
And I like the little sound effect that went with that as well. And of course, I liked Milhouse's little moment that he's the one that basically destroys the town.
Well, I think you more than anything have appreciated that joke because you're more of a bigger Simpsons fans and you know the history of Milhouse, and all the.
But even if you just go through the Treehouse of Horror episodes, you can tell who Milhouse is. Like remember the board game one?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that did kind of.
And even with the Grim Reaper one, kill Milhouse. We all know there's no happy ending there.
That was literally the funniest joke in that entire episode.
Jesus, that's dark.
And then, of course, you have his pathetic father who's just like, "I'm still proud of you, son. And look, I have money for pizza." Black hole sucks the money in.
You saw
I
the
had
money!
I did like the whole the business bit was funny, and then also have you seen the cat? Like those are the two the funnier jokes in the episode.
So you see, there's a lot to like in this one. It's just a lot of jokes to like about this one. If I feel like if it stuck the landing, you might have a better opinion of it overall.
I think the abrupt ending and the whole Maggie bit kind of like just I went, oh no, I kind of turned me off on that. And then actually now that I'm thinking about it, the fucking Sopranos ending that they did like really kind of bothered me. Of course. Dude, that's what it was. It was just like cut to black, and I'm like, fuck.
Hidden soft spot there for Mark.
First off, I like the Sopranos.
You pretentious ass.
And second, do we want to talk about the two mafia guys?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Did he dodge the bullet?
No, it was the bullet. It was the black hole sucked in the bullet, and the guy who was trying to shoot was like, "Aha!" and then he gets sucked in.
I was gonna say that makes no sense because it's like if you shoot the guy, the bullet's gonna go forward. He's right in front of the bullet. Like either way, even if the black hole is sucking the bullet, it's gonna go through the guy and kill him.
It's a cartoon.
I don't give a damn.
Because fuck physics.
This is a physics-based episode.
Actually, that is actually a very valid point. I'm not gonna lie. That is actually a very wow. That is actually probably one of the smartest things Zach has ever said.
Fuck you.
Overall, I enjoyed the episode for sure. I felt like if they did like maybe a Kane and Kodos bit instead, maybe them being sucked into their universe, I'd probably like the episode a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think they were missing something on that.
You know, maybe they wanted to take a little break from Kane and Kodos, considering
Maybe.
the story that concluded the last Treehouse of Horror.
True.
The Avatar spoof that
Yeah,
we're not going
that-
to mention after this.
That was
Yeah, I forgot
wasn't
about
a
that.
shoehorn, but good God, was it bad?
Oh, yeah.
God, yeah, you reminded me of that episode. Why, Brandon?
Because that's why I'm here.
Still wasn't as bad as the Raven.
My head hurts now. Oh, you die. You go to hell and you die.
I didn't even have to say. I was about to say it, but no.
David stole it from you.
You
You're
know-
not allowed to say it this
No,
recording
damn well that
anymore.
episode was worse than the Raven.
Yeah, it actually was.
I don't know. At least something happened.
You,
Oh, but what happened we didn't really like.
Doesn't matter if we liked it or not. Something happened.
Oh.
All right.
Anyway.
So are we ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. David, tell us about story 2, Unnormal Activity.
oh God. Well, obviously a parody
For all the kids listening,
Yeah.
there was a whole craze of found footage, paranormal activity movies. I think we're at what, like 8 at this point?
I don't
think
know.
so.
I think like
They
5 or
stopped,
6.
thankfully. So
I mean, the first one was
The first,
okay.
yeah.
That
Which,
was pretty much it.
I think it was definitely through the first 3 is when this episode came on.
Yeah, it was right in the craze.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like, and there were
Right in the middle.
there were other ones though that were coming out at the same time that were like the knockoffs. So 2012 was like a huge year for that.
Yeah, so this came out the year of the 4th one, but because of like writer's cycle and everything, it was probably written when the 3rd one came out in 2011.
Was it the Mark ones?
And no, like
Mark
the
was like the last one.
yeah, the first 4 actually had numbers, but I do think this one actually did a pretty good job at spoofing the styles of all 3. But David, I'll let you get into that.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely. Obviously, we are in the camera's perspective for the whole episode. Homer's pretty much setting up a camera, figuring out what's haunting the family, essentially. It turns out that the camera belonged to Ned Flanders. And Ned's like, Homer, is that my camera? No.
I'm the hero.
Remember me as a hero. Dad, you didn't pick me up from Little League. Dad, you killed my plant. Homer, did you steal my camera? Hero, away!
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
Homer.
And he catches, like, there's Maggie's blocks there. It spells out "get out." So that was kind of cool. And then she sets it up in the bedroom, and then he's trying to get it on with Marge. And Marge is like, Homer, is the camera on? It's like, no. But why is the red light on?
That means it's off.
It's
Note to self, edit out my lies.
Oh God. Yeah, Homer got a little Barney Stinson there, Zach. Just a little bit. No, baby, red means it's not recording.
Yeah. She's not that stupid. But anyway, during the night, there's not a figure, but ghost running through the house, takes the blanket off of them sleeping, pulls out a golf club, walks over to Homer and starts beating him over the head with the golf club.
That was great.
Which could explain why it was so dumb anyway.
They installed several different security cameras.
Yeah.
Through the
Chief
house.
Wiggin comes in.
There was something else happened after that with the ghost.
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
it?
there was the they were making fun of that moment at the end of the first movie where the girl's just standing over the guy at the bed, and
Yeah.
so they have Marge just standing over him, and he's like, "Oh, you want to get a little frisky? I like it. You don't like saying anything."
And she does it again when he's taking
and
a
by the
very
way-
long.
And by the way, they both did it too. He did it while he did her while she was possessed by a demon.
Yeah.
just to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Look, Mark, if Sarah ever does that to you, just go with it. I hear demon sex is amazing.
We're about to find out in a bit.
Oh yeah. Yes, we are. Oh, God.
Anyway,
She does it the same thing. She gets out of bed and like watches him piss for like 60 seconds.
It was
long.
so like it would show him, and then it would like do the fast forwarding thing. And if you look at the time code in the bottom right, you see it's at least an hour that he's there.
dude, this is only rivaled by the piss in Austin Powers.
Yes.
Or the old Adam Sandler recording, "The Longest Pee."
Or the director pissing in Terror Firmer.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That wasn't long though. That was just gross.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was a shot of bullshit.
Yeah. No golden showers. Anyway, he obviously set up the whole house with security cameras to try to catch this figure, and it turns out we are in Maggie's room. The figure grabs Maggie out of the crib and starts packing a bag. It's putting one of those like slings over him for the baby. Grabs
baby carriers.
Like the baby carrier. He grabs the car seat, and then Marge like runs in there and is like, "No, don't take my baby." And then turns out it was a demon Mo.
Yeah, which they figure that out by Bart takes the baby powder and throws it on him so they can see the shape of the invisible demon.
And they're like, Mo's like, no, Mo's more, hideous and evil than me.
And they all agree.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah. But it turns out the reason why the demon was there is because 30 years before, Marge's sister, Patty and Selma, were worshipping Satan, essentially, because they were bored, because there was nothing to do. Once
then
they summon
TV.
him, yeah, they summon him, and
We have no boyfriends. We're bored. It's something to do. Nothing on TV.
yeah, once they summoned them, he was pretty much going to take them with the hell, and asked Marge to help, a young Marge to help them, and pretty much offered,
It was Marge asked him not to.
asked them not to
now.
take them, and
Can't he just take them later when they're adults or something?
pretty
And
much,
then the demon's like, okay, but when I come back, I also want your favorite child.
yep.
And
then he grabs Maggie,
Yeah.
and Lisa's like, "Wait, Maggie's your favorite child? I thought I was."
And then Mo puts Maggie down, picks up Lisa. Okay, not the favorite, not the favorite. Which that is such a kid thing.
Perfect. So then, and then Homer tries to make the deal with him. He's like, "Where? What do I have to do for you not to, take
Take any of my
take the
kids."
favorite kids?" And he's like, "Threesome." And
You,
he's like,
me, Marge. Demon, you.
which is probably the most fucked up, weirdest shit I've seen so far in the Treehouse.
And he was just totally accepting of
And
it
he
too.
was
And he's like,
accepting.
like-
and-
It's
he's
one
like,
of those
"All right, what's the
things
safe
that a
word?"
father has to do.
Yeah, and he's
when?
like,
When does he have to do that?
so
Mark, are you a father?
No, I'm not.
Only one of us here is a father,
Yeah.
and
It's
he's
accurate.
the only one that can answer for this.
it's accurate.
I'm not having children. Neither am I.
If you're not ready to have a threesome with 2 demons for your child, then no. Don't be a father. Just take them.
It's like never.
Take 'em.
That's like something I would never consider ever.
Then you're not ready to be a father if you're not considering it.
Apparently
Clearly.
not.
Like David should write a book on like what to expect when you're expecting.
Yeah, just for
Possible
Mark.
demon 3-way. That's what you should expect.
What to expect when you're expecting Rosemary's Baby.
Good fucking God.
Oh no, that's a book I would read.
So we cut back to the bedroom, and you got one demon, Homer in the middle, between both demons, and then the Mo demon's like, "All right, what's the safe word?"
Homer asks what the safe word is.
Homer asks what's the safe word. Cinnamon.
Homer's like,
Okay.
oh, I love cinnamon.
I like cinnamon. It's
And
easy
Homer
to
takes
know.
his shirt off and throws it over the camera, and
Yeah,
we hear him
he's-
saying, "Now there's something I want to try. Cinnamon, cinnamon, cinnamon."
Oh, he's like, "There's something new I want to try," and demon's like, "Yeah, okay." He's like, "Wait, cinnamon, cinnamon."
It's like, holy shit.
What the fuck could Homer possibly have done to freak a fucking demon out?
A Mo demon at that.
Showed his penis?
The
I
maybe
don't know.
the deal's off.
Deals off me, perv.
Why a demon would want to fuck Homer is beyond me. That's the thing I don't get. Like,
No. It's not just one demon. It's
There's
two
two
demons.
demons.
like, whatever.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
That joke was pretty funny.
Yeah.
It was really fucked up.
The two jokes I remember the most that I did laugh at was obviously that joke, and then also the Chief Wiggum when he's like, yeah, all they want is all they do is feed on fear, and then he walked into the other room and came back as a skeleton. He's like, yep, they feed on more than just fear, and then crumbles.
Fucking Wiggum.
So I did enjoy that. It's a pretty good parody of Paranormal Activity, but I mean, I
At least the goddamn title made sense.
that's
True.
true. I think it's pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, and like I said too, they did a good job at spoofing the styles of the 3 at the time, because you had just the basic camcorder from the first one,
Mm-hmm.
you had the multi-security camera setup from the second one, and then you had the flashback to the kids from the third one. So they hit all 3 at that time. And
That's true.
fit it in pretty well in
Oh,
a
yeah.
short story that had a beginning, middle, and end. And I liked how they made fun of like the whole found footage style, where it's like Homer starts running with the camera and it's shaking. We have stairs. He falls down.
Everybody forgets about the stairs. And they did like the blocks though with Maggie, get out,
Get
and then
out.
like the next 2 scenes
Leave
later, it's like
now.
it's
Too
too
late.
late.
So yeah, this one is one that I've always enjoyed since it first aired. It is better than the actual Paranormal Activity movies, I thought.
Agree.
I'd rather watch the first 2.
I'd rather watch the first one.
I can at least laugh at the second one, especially the ending. It's so stupidly
It's
hilarious. that
preposterous.
It just cracks me up every time.
There's a thing with Paranormal Activity, like at least that style of things. Either you get into it, or you get into it and you buy it, or you don't. There's no like it's either like pretty suspenseful. I'm talking about the first one, or it's this is the dumbest fucking shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's one of those franchises that should have just stopped at 3.
Agreed.
Like, just like Saw. Like, it's one of those franchises. I think if you had just had the 3,
The money train kept showing up, brother. Like,
yeah,
you're gonna
pretty
keep
much.
taking
Just like the goddamn Resident Evil movies, it's like, I gotta finish it.
God, yeah.
them.
I'm this deep in, I can't stop now.
Yeah.
I gotta finish.
I watch Paranormal Activity the way I watch movies with you guys, though. I was with a group, and we were all laughing, and we were all like, oh, what's going on in there? Like, it was fun.
That's definitely the way
fun.
to watch it.
Yeah. It was a fun time to watch that movie. That and then The Conjuring. I saw that with a group of people as well. So that's part of the reason. I think I enjoy watching horror movies more when I'm with a group than I do by myself. I think there's just something about like the energy of people around you.
I do. I like doing both of them.
I get that.
Like, I like a good jump scare too when I'm by myself.
It's true. And especially get yourself in an environment, turn all the lights off, and then have the one bright screen. It gives you a little bit of a taste of being in the theater. So
I know for the most part, I've watched horror movies by myself my whole life. So yeah.
I actually kind of like the design for the Mo Demon.
Yeah.
That was kind of creepy.
It was all right.
They did a good job with the design.
So finally, we have segment 3, Bart and Homer's Excellent Adventure. Zach, tell us about Bart and Homer's Excellent Adventure.
I did not realize that title.
Neither did I. I was honestly expecting a Back to the Future. I completely blanked out the title for this one.
Well, Bart to the Future was already a title for a previous actual episode, so...
Oh.
Which one was that one?
It wasn't a Treehouse episode. It was like an actual normal episode. It's the one where Bart sees his future and leases the president of the United States.
Yeah, I remember that one. That's actually a good one.
I feel like I've seen that episode before, but what season? Early seasons?
It was probably like season... It was probably around like 9 or 10, around that era, probably.
I've probably seen it.
Fucking Secret Service guy sees him and he's like, hey, you want us to murder him? And he's like, no. It's like, you better take advantage of these. You only get like 7 of these, all right? So you better take advantage.
Up, they're gone.
They're gone.
So that's the one where they're at the fair and Lisa wants to know her future, essentially, right?
No, the one where they're at the fair is Lisa sees her first love.
Oh.
This one was Bart tries to sneak into an Indian casino.
Yeah.
It's brought into the back office, and they show him the flames so he can see his future.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. I forgot how that episode started. Anyway.
Yeah. All right, so Bart and Homer's Excellent Adventure, we're calling it? Okay. So Bart is at the comic book shop, and he sees this comic that he really wants, but it's like, what, $1,000?
$200.
$200?
Which, in 10-year-old money, is like $1,000.
Well, it may as well be. You're not,
It's a very weird exchange rate.
Bart brings up to the comic book guy. He's just like, it's kind of a crime that you're selling this comic for $200, even though it says 25 cents on the cover. Look, if you want to get this comic for 25 cents, then you have to go back to 1974.
Dude, that's actually pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
That's actually
good.
scary good.
Spot on.
Wow, impressive, sir.
I can do voices.
Well, that one just made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, so he walks outside. Well, no. He goes to the back of the comic book shop and he sees the foreshadowing comic that shows that he's going to get a time machine car. Walks outside and lo and behold, fucking freak had made a time machine car straight out of fucking, what's it called? Back to the Future. Axe the DeLorean, though. He's like, I built a time machine. Yes, here, take my keys. Hold it, watch it for me. Yeah. And then Bart, of course, takes it to 1974.
You had to get the story started somehow.
Yeah, sure. As he's going through the time loop, you see
By the way, I have a question. Didn't the comic books guys say that if you want this comic, you need to go back to 1969?
No, 74.
Oh, he did say 74.
Yeah, he said
okay,
the
I wanted to
actual-
make sure.
yeah.
Like, okay, like
Yeah, he said the actual year.
I totally misheard him when I was talking. I'm like, did he go to the wrong year?
No.
But apparently not. Okay.
No. Yeah, so he's going through the timeline thing, and he just sees all the 007 movies, Skyfall, Casino Royale, all the shit.
Because that was the year that
kinda
Skyfall came out.
Yeah, I know, all the crappy new ones that have come out over the past, 5 or 7 years. That's right. I said it.
I love Casino Royale. Fuck you. Keep going.
Yeah, so he gets out of the time machine, he looks around, I don't remember anything significant about that part, but he goes to he sees that Homer's in the high school or whatever.
Oh, wait, you forgot when he was traveling back, He's like, I won't be needing this. And he just takes off
his
his
seatbelt.
Oh, the seatbelt gag, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Because, people didn't used to be up in arms about seatbelts back in those days.
Yeah, safety wasn't a thing.
Safety. Nobody gave a shit back then.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
And he's now back in a time where nobody's mad at George Lucas.
Yeah, dude. You know what, man? Screw you, that was funny. And true.
Yeah.
All you prequel haters, I hope you're happy.
And
This is why Disney's a fucking
Well,
problem.
it's also the special editions.
yeah, it's a lot of other things. Anyway,
Again, you're to blame for the Disney problem.
Yeah, it gets worse.
Anyways. So yeah, he goes into the high school, he sees Homer, he says something to piss off Homer, and he starts choking Bart, which,
Yeah, he was like, I'm your unwanted son who steals all your fun.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah. And then he starts choking him. Marge walks in, and then she proceeds to ask, why are you choking this little boy? I don't want anything to do with you. Goes to the back of the room. They have this whole love at first sight thing, and then Homer just proceeds to be like, no, you must love me. I love you. You love me. It's love at first sight thing. And then, Marge is just like, nope, not going to do it. Bart takes a look at his phone. He's like, wait, if you two don't get together, what does that mean for me? He looks at the phone. There's a picture of him. It disappears, and it reappears, and he's fucking rich. So he's just like, wait, so if these two never get together, my life gets better? Fuck yeah. Goes up to Marge. Do not get with that man for any reason whatsoever. Homer starts chasing him. He gets back into the not DeLorean time machine and goes back to the future.
I love Bart though. He's like either I live in a rich man's house, or I can take a picture next to a rich man's house. Either way, it's better than what I'm living with right now.
And he completely forgot about the comic this whole time.
Oh yeah,
No, he did, before he got to the school, he did buy it, and he read it, and he was like, it's a little preachy, and tosses it into a dumpster.
Wow.
It was
Okay.
very quick.
Very. So, yeah, so he's in the future. He goes, and what the fuck was this? Who's his dad now? I can't remember his
Artie
name.
Ziff, who
Artie.
was Marge's sort of boyfriend at the time. This segment did a pretty good job at calling back to the story of how Marge and Homer met. It was the first flashback episode of The Simpsons. And yeah, if you're familiar with that story, I thought it did a very good job at weaving that into a Treehouse of Horror episode. But yeah, Artie Ziff, voiced by John Lovitz, was Marge's boyfriend at the time.
I knew his voice sounded familiar.
Yeah, and pretty much she does go to the prom with him, but he gets very handsy. She slaps him, and she sees Homer walking on the side of the road while she's driving, and she picks him up, and that's how they finally get to know each other. But at first, she was sent to detention for protesting on school grounds, and Homer was in detention as well, and that's when he first saw her. So that is how they met.
Oh, that is a pretty cool callback.
And they even had a similar music cue as well when he saw her walking in this episode. I think they actually had the legit song of Why Do Birds Suddenly Appear in the actual episode, whereas in this it was kind of like a generic version of it. But it was close enough that it worked for me.
Cool.
So yeah, the episode continues. Homer and modern Homer and old-timey Homer start spying on, the family, and start plotting a plan to get Marge back, which essentially means just go back in time and grab a whole bunch of other Homers. But as this continues, Bart's doing his whole new lifestyle, and then I don't know how the hell we got to this comment.
So it's so Bart has Nelson as a butler, and he has Nelson holding like a flower in his teeth, and Bart has a whip, and he's like whipping off the petals, and he's like, I love my new life, I love it not. Whipping off a new petal, I love my life, I love it not. I love my life. And Artie's just like, you're very good with that whip, son. Just like Indiana Jones, who's played by Richard Dreyfuss in our universe.
And that broke me.
It was so nice to see Zach get broken by a joke on The Simpsons.
I can't help but just wonder how and why. Like, I'm just picturing Richard fucking Dreyfuss. He's not a fit man at all. Like, whipping across, chasms and shit like that. Finding the Holy Grail. Fighting Nazis. What else? Running away from giant boulder. How? How?
It
It's
was
such an out of left field comment.
And that's why it worked
yes.
Yeah.
And not only that, he said
in our universe.
in our universe too, which was a perfect fucking meta joke.
It's like, what? Fucking hell.
He left pretty hard.
Yeah, you
He's
did.
laughing pretty hard
He's
now.
still laughing at it. Oh my. So
Fucking Richard goddamn Dreyfuss.
anyway,
So yeah, Homer shows up at the door and he has his armies of Homers, and yeah, they proceed to have a fight. All the Homers get their royal asses kicked by Bart and his new
Artie.
father. Yeah, Marty the
Artie.
Artie, yeah, sure, that's his name. And yeah, Marge comes outside, sees they all got their asses kicked, and realized, oh, her all true loves are all the Homers, including Caveman Homer, who isn't Caveman Homer, it's really Renaissance Homer, which proceeded to break Mark.
it was such a funny fucking joke.
I don't get how that was so funny. Like, it's
Well-
it could get a chuckle, but
Dude,
It was a good one.
It was a good fucking joke.
Yeah.
I'm a massive history buff, so that joke just fucking works
It's
for me.
Renaissance Homer, so it means actual
no, I know
caveman
he's
Homer is gonna be
extra stupid, but
Extra
still,
stupid. It's
man.
This
dude,
has been an established fact for years.
it was nice to have a historical joke. I hadn't heard one in a while, so it was good. Surprising. I did love when Homer was like, "All right, Homers, I think we're gonna go back in time. We're gonna get some more Homers, and we're gonna regroup and come back tomorrow."
As he's stuck in a tree.
yes,
Yeah, so everything kind of goes back to normal. Marge is married to every Homer who was brought back to the future, and she gets pissed at him for not taking out the trash. So they have Pharaoh's slave Homer do it, and then all the other Homers proceed to laugh at him.
it's always me.
Yep.
The
That was the end of the episode.
I thought this was a good time.
this is a good time.
Yeah.
This was a very good.
So
time.
my problem with this whole episode is that the jokes felt hammered. Like, hey, look, it's a joke. You like jokes? Here's a joke. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy before Guardians of the Galaxy. We're funny, right? You like jokes? Here's a joke.
But you laughed.
Yeah, and two.
hard.
They hard at
laugh
one.
They had
Still
one
laugh.
really good joke, but for the rest of it, it's just like, you guys are trying way too hard.
I left it.
Take
so
it, bitch.
I took a few of them.
Yeah, you took-
I mean, when you toss that many fastballs, imagine, one is bound to hit, if not several are bound to hit. So I see where Zach's coming from with it. Like
It's just like, hey, here's my keys and all that. There's a laugh.
Yeah,
Just-
there was a lot of, here's something from somebody from our time going back to 1974 pointing something out. And now here's somebody from 1974 pointing out stuff about our time.
I get it. I mean, I get where you're coming from. I guess for me though, that some of them, when you are tossing that many fastballs, it's only a matter of time that one will hit, if not several. You hope it's several.
Yeah, it's like these are all just like obviously trying really hard to be funny, but they're just not. It's like that's just lazy.
I will say though,
I don't know how that Richard Dreyfuss joke destroyed me, but yeah.
But it did, and that's what counts.
indeed.
But it's like the only one. Other than that, it's just.
Dude, sometimes in a baseball game, all you need is one home run.
That has the ball land into a black hole and destroys us all.
Sure. There's a couple. There's a couple really fun jokes in here. I think it was a fun episode. It is definitely it's definitely better than the rest of them.
Did he build the time machine out of a Prius?
Was it Prius?
It looked like a Prius.
You know,
You're asking me like I know cars.
What the f...
I didn't even think about this.
That
I
was
just
funny.
I just knew that it wasn't a DeLorean. I'm just like, oh, it's not a DeLorean.
It was
I didn't
little.
even think that it might have been a Prius.
I think it was a fucking Prius with the Back to the Future 2 fucking blasters on the back.
Some flame decals.
Yeah,
So
it was either a Prius or a Bug, one of the two.
No, it was a
It was
Prius.
Prius.
It was definitely a Prius. I've seen enough Family Guy episodes to know fucking Prius.
Fucking Brian.
Which instead of using DeLorean, of course,
Yeah,
for our
hey,
time,
I want to give a
Prius.
quick rant on Family Guy really quick, because Family Guy's starting to reach dumbass levels of Simpsons, where it's just like, I can't even watch the shit anymore, it's so fucking stupid.
Well, fair enough.
Like season 18, and I just saw the first episode of season 19, I'm like,
Jesus.
this is just hard to watch. Like, everyone just sucks now. Like, what the fuck happened? I hate everything.
Yeah, after like 12, like the 12th season, I stopped really watching. That was pretty much
On that somber note, let's go to our wrap up.
All right, so let's start with funniest moment. Zach, what was your funniest moment?
Richard fucking Dreyfuss.
As Indiana Jones.
Is that a serious question?
Yeah, you know that.
The
Mine was the safe word.
cinnamon. That,
Cinnamon!
that was pretty up there.
That
And you know
was-
what? You're already laughing at that. It's definitely cinnamon, and then the fucking Renaissance joke. It got me.
I don't get it.
It got me.
It was fun. I don't think it was that funny, but I thought it was funny.
I don't know. For me, it just really got me.
Yeah.
I think it caught me off guard, just the same as Zach got caught off guard with the Richard Dreyfuss joke.
All right.
I wasn't expecting a fucking Renaissance joke
Yeah.
to just pop up in the episode. So
I think my second one would be like Ralph getting sucked into the black hole.
You would think that would be funnier, but it just wasn't.
It was funny.
I think
What did he say, or did he just go, wee?
It was just doing a cartwheel.
it just did it well.
It
I
was
think
just the cartwheel?
I think I would have liked a comment from Ralph in that one. I think I would have liked him to say something, but
Am I in danger?
Yeah, I'm in danger.
that would have been messy.
My funniest moment was also cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
It's too funny.
Yeah, that's always been my favorite part.
I just
of
want
that
to
one.
point out, we had to pause for the Richard Dreyfuss joke.
We had to pause for you.
Yeah.
No, even you look back, you're just like, hang on, what?
Yeah, even you had
Everybody had a collective wait.
we had to hold on for a second. Hold the film. Hold the film.
Because I specifically remember that comment, so I knew that was coming.
All right, fair enough.
So yeah, I paused for Zach, and I laughed at Zach's laughing at it. But as far as like actual joke from the show itself works best for me, it was cinnamon. So creepiest, scariest, grossest, most violent moment,
Also, darkest moment.
darkest moment. Every kind of descriptive word that we've added to this
Let's go
category.
with the fucking three-way, I guess.
Yeah, that was gonna be mine. I want to have to go with the three-way.
I can't think of anything
demon.
else.
I'm gonna go with Homer's creepy hands, and then also Chief Wiggum's. I thought it was more cool than anything, but it was kind of creepy. But it's creepy cool when Chief Wiggum's skeleton came back in. I thought it was cool.
And
I
then
thought
there
that
was
was just
also
very-
Homer's intestines in the intro,
Yeah.
but if we want to go for something,
I don't know. It looked weird. Like, it just looked... I don't know. The design of it was just... Meh.
But yeah, I'll probably go with twisty fingers in the first one.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but this one really went for the jokes more than the gross stuff this time.
Fucking
Yeah.
three-way.
Or it could be like Marge, like watching Homer pee for an hour,
That was just...
possessed,
Yeah.
That was just weird.
That felt like a time filler.
creepy.
Well, it was an easy one for them to do.
Yeah.
All right.
Doesn't
so,
mean it worked.
So, least favorite segment of the episode. My least favorite was the black hole one.
I'm gonna have to go with one too.
I did
Yeah.
enjoy it, but that's the one that didn't really stick the landing, and it's probably the
Yeah.
most incomplete story, probably.
Yeah, one actually had a reaction of me of almost not liking certain segments. Most of the segments that I've been watching that I enjoy pretty overall, but very forgettable. Like there were two parts of that segment that like just bothered me, and I don't know why. It probably shouldn't bother me as much as it did. The whole thing with the pacifier and then the abrupt ending. I'm like, that was kind of fucking stupid. It kind of bothered me. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely go with one.
I'm gonna go with one as well, and only because I wasn't really into it until like towards the end when they all got sucked in and we were in this like other universe and they were just like picking through their garbage and they were like, yeah, we love this. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say one.
I mean, I guess I'll go with one, because, I mean, it's not really horror. That's
Yeah.
really my reason for it.
Yeah, which the third one wasn't really horror either. Like if we're going for horror spoofs, the second one's the only one that actually.
Yeah, but I mean, the third one at least had a funny moment in it. The first one, it's very meh, and even the second one for the most part is meh, but I mean, yeah, I'm going to go with the first one just because, yeah.
So we are unanimous once again.
Yay!
All right, favorite segment. I have a feeling we might be a little split on this one,
Yeah.
but let's find out. Mark, what's your favorite segment?
I'm gonna go 3.
I'm gonna go with 2.
How dare you!
Just because
Is it because of the Raven?
Fuck you. You say it again, you will die.
Gentlemen, we are not here to discuss the Raven today. That was 23 episodes ago. All right, so Mark, you have number 3. David, you have number 2. Zach?
3.
3. We're tied up, gentlemen. I'm picking number 2.
You bitch.
Right down the middle. Right down the fucking middle.
That cinnamon jug was just
Yeah.
3-way with 2 demons.
Like, you have a really good spoof of not just the first parent. Like, they could have just easily cheaped out and just done the style of the first one and leave it at that. But you can tell.
I will say they are getting better at ripping shit off and
Yeah.
actually doing something decent with it instead of being lazy like they were in the early episodes where their spoofs were borderline just terrible.
Yeah, and it's not like the Harry Potter spoof where it's like you can tell the writers just didn't even care to see or read a Harry Potter thing. Whereas you can tell at least one of the writers was familiar enough with those movies to spoof those 3 specific styles. It was brought into the Simpsons universe really well. I like the Mo Demon, and it had a really funny joke to go out on.
The Harry Potter one was just like, hey, we have wizards!
Yeah.
Was this another episode where they had more than one writer? Or
I don't know. Let me check.
with me as a father, like it hits home. Like I, definitely would pretty much take one for the team. Just to save the family, I would have to take one for the team.
You'd have sex with.
He's
two
anticipating a
demons.
3-way with demons at some point.
With
No
my
pegging!
wife,
No pegging!
You guys met my wife. I'm anticipating some kind of
This is like
demon to bring.
this is like a shitty punk rock song. My night with 2 demons.
You know, if you look hard enough, I wouldn't be surprised. It's either 1, a song, or 2, a band.
Yeah.
Multiple
Okay,
songs.
so this episode has 2 credited writers. One of the writers actually used to write for the short-lived Clerks animated series.
What a great
Really?
fucking
Wow.
And then the other writer, which the second writer on this one, this is his only episode of Simpsons he wrote, but he also wrote 32 episodes of Seinfeld. Was actually one of the creators for the Clerks animated series. He also wrote the screenplays for The Cat in the Hat, Euro Trip,
Nice.
10 episodes
Nice.
of Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Nice.
Sacha Baron Cohen's The Dictator,
God.
Nice.
and 3 episodes of HBO's Veep.
So after the last episode, they decided to actually hire some good writers.
Oh.
Yeah. They're like we fucked up on the last one.
Yeah.
So let's fix that up.
shitty James Cameron ripoff didn't
Oh
get
my
any
dude.
attention.
The Cat in the Hat. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I enjoyed The Cat in the Hat. I laughed.
I enjoyed it.
The
The only part I
Mars.
laughed at was when he said, "Son of a..."
please
Man.
with the long beam.
This wasn't just an improvement over the last one. I thought it was a legitimately solid Treehouse of Horror overall.
It's definitely on the better side of things, but it's also not really on the good or great side of things.
I would think that the 3rd segment will be far more memorable for me, and I would probably remember the 2nd segment because it was a decent parody of that one. And that's actually the only reason why I'm going to even remember 2. 1, I'll probably completely forget. I'm going to throw that into the pile of completely forget it. Except with I'll probably remember it because of a shitty ending, but besides that, I probably will forget it.
I remember that because of where's the cat?
All right, yeah, that's pretty
the
funny.
only good thing about it.
That deadpan stare, just like, yeah. Has anybody seen the cat?
It's in the dog, just goes straight to the dog. About you.
So thank you all for listening to today's edition of Midwest Horror Network's October 2020 special, discussing all of the Treehouse of Horror episodes of The Simpsons. Be sure to listen to our regular podcast, The Nightmares Podcast, wherever podcasts are available. Also look us up on all of our social media at Midwest Horror Network on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and
Slasher.
And of course, if you are listening to this on YouTube, please go ahead and stab that like button and smash that subscribe. Click that little dingy bell to be notified every time we drop amazing content here on the Midwest Horror Network. Also, if you are listening to this on any podcast streaming platforms, go ahead and press that little follow button so you can also be notified on those platforms every time we drop a Nightmares podcast or just like this, the Simpsons October 2020 special. Thank you so much. We always appreciate it. We will see you tomorrow.
happy October 23rd.